Nicole. Up in the apnea.
Oh, they are. You know what? They've got the green. Oh, okay.
This will be it's another year I can't go skiing. I'm mad.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Step back a little ways. Okay, how's that? Okay, thank you. First of all, I'd like to welcome all of you and thank all of you for coming tonight. The purpose of this meeting is basically to help inform the residents of Palos Verdes Estates regarding council candidate positions on key issues facing the city. And that, as the number of you that turned out is obviously, I think, a testimony to the involvement of the citizens of this city. Let's see, this is being sponsored by a group called PVE, Residents for Responsible Government. This is an independent community-based group, primarily educational in nature, who is sponsoring this tonight. My name is Michael Teal, and I'll be the moderator. Just real quick background on me. I've lived in Palos Verdes for over 60 years. I used to work way back in the day for a company called TRW, which became Northrop Grumman. Haven't we all? And I was in the learning and development function, and when I left the company, I was the director of learning and development for their space business, and so I'll be running through this stuff tonight. Just a couple of quick things regarding format. In a moment, we'll get started. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to do an introductory statement. And then after that, they'll have an opportunity to respond to questions. We have sort of two groups of questions tonight. We have some that were already submitted from a variety of sources, and I'll be asking those. And many of you right now are filling out cards, which will also be the questions that we will use tonight. So one way or the other, we're going to get to them. Let's see. The questions are in a written format. We're following basically the same practice that the League of Women Voters would follow, which is that written questions are great. Questions from the audience are not. In other words, microphone questions are not. So we're gonna try to stick with the cards. The candidates will be given 1 minute to answer those questions. And when the minute is up, you will hear a melodious sound, which sounds something like this. We're going to keep it harmonious in here tonight. And you'll be getting some warnings in terms of, as we get close to your minute. Let's see. We're going to try to get to as many of the questions as we possibly can, given the time limits that we have. We have 2 hours. For those of you who either don't get your question answered or don't get it answered the way you wanted it to, the League of Women Voters is sponsoring a similar event here on the 11th of February, so you'll have another crack if it doesn't happen for you tonight. This activity is being videotaped. The videotape, at least one of the videotapes, will be available on the PVRRG website. So if you end up having to leave early for whatever reason and you haven't had a chance to see the whole thing, you can go to the website and have a chance to see it as soon as it gets uploaded. All right. Let's see. This is an exercise in civil engagement. I'll say that again. This is an exercise in civil engagement. And so as a result, what I'd like to do is to propose a series of ground rules, not just for the candidates, but also for the audience. Audience members, I think it's good to remember that no matter what point of view any individual candidate may espouse, what they all have in common is that they love the city of Palos Verdes Estates and they want to make it better. So as you ask your questions, please remember that that's why these 6 people are sitting up here. It's because they love this place and want to make it better. So please listen openly and respectfully. I would very much appreciate it. No cheering, no jeering, no catcalls, no spontaneous outbursts. Okay? The opportunity here is to listen to them. And please try to turn off all electronic devices. And secondly, if you can keep your side conversations to a minimum, that would be appreciated as well. Candidates, I would ask that you talk directly to the audience, not to one another. This is not meant as a debate. This is meant really as an opportunity for you to speak out here to them. Please focus on issues. This is not about any kind of personal issues one way or the other. No innuendos, no snide comments, no none of that. Let's just stick to the issues, please. Please try to stick to the time limits when you hear that melodious sound. That will help us get out of here on time. Would appreciate no interruptions. And please focus. There you go. Focus on to the extent that you can, focus on the present and the future. Obviously, talking about what has already happened is necessary to talk about maybe what you think is going to happen. But the purpose here tonight is not just to rehash the past. It's really to talk about where are we going as a city. Make sense? Okay, good. All right. So I'm going to do just a very brief set of introductions, and I'm going to start by, if you will, introducing somebody who is not here. You may be aware that Jeff Grove had initially put his name in as a candidate. He has decided to withdraw from the race, and we learned this for sure just a couple of days ago. So all he is doing is urging everybody to vote on the 5th of March, to vote to help make this place a better city. So that's Jeff's point of view. The folks we have up here, going from my left, we have Michael Kemps, who is a businessman and technologist. By the way, the titles came directly off the ballot form. So Michael Kemps, businessman and technologist. Jennifer King, who is an incumbent council person. Victoria Lozzi, who is the city treasurer and a banker. Kevin McCarthy, a law enforcement executive. Dave McGowan, a finance executive. And finally, Betty Lynn Peterson, who is also an incumbent council member. So welcome again, and thank all of you for your commitment to the city and for being here tonight. So I'm going to allow you all to introduce yourself. We're going to start. We had a sort of a lottery process, and David won, so he'll be starting, and then we'll simply be going down the line to his right until we've heard from everyone. You folks have up to 3 minutes to respond to this. Don't feel like you need to take all 3 minutes, but you have up to 3. You guys, your switches are actually on you're on. It's just on as long as you got a green light, you're good. Okay.